let's do some research today and save it with Google Slides. I'm going to go ahead and open up Google Chrome and log into my Gmail account. Alright, so here I am on my Gmail account. So the first thing that I want to do is to come up here to where it says Google Apps. These are the 9 little dots in the upper right corner. Go ahead and left click on that to open up your Google app listings. What I'm going to do today is use Drive, so I'm going to left click on Drive. By the way, while you're at it, if you wish, you can left click, hold it, drag and drop things around. Like for example, I like to have YouTube and calendar up at the top. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and left click on Drive. It's going to open up Google Drive. Google Drive is your free storage, your free online storage that's provided to you for free using your Gmail account. It's 15 gigabytes. That's a lot of information that you can store on there. What I'm going to do today is to create a Google Slides presentation, which is similar to Microsoft Office's PowerPoint. So easiest way to do it is I'm going to right click. When I right click, it brings up menu choices. We've got Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. Google Slides is what I want. I'm just going to left click on blank presentation. I'm not going to choose from a template, but just left click on blank presentation. It's going to open up an untitled slide presentation. We can go over here. There are a lot of different themes that you can choose. If, for example, you wanted to have themes today, I'm not going to worry about that, so I'm just going to X out of it and close the theme. Now, the slide that it's initially giving me is one that's got click to add title, click to add subtitle, so it's got some text boxes in there, and I don't want those in there. So what I'm going to do is to come up here with my mouse, put the tip of the arrow of my mouse on here. It changes into a 4 arrow crosshair. Left click, it highlights the whole thing, you can see, and then I'm just going to hit the delete key. Get rid of that, and I'm going to do the same thing down here on this one. Left click and delete it. Now, so I've got one slide with just a white background. Let's say I want to make a couple more slides while I'm at blank slides. So I'm going to come over here on the left hand side, right click, and choose duplicate slide. I'm going to do that again, duplicate slide, duplicate slide. So I've got 4 slides now. You can see by this faint golden outline that I'm looking at the 4th slide, but let's go back, click on the top one. At this point I'm going to do some research. Let me go ahead and name this presentation. So I just click up here and type in research. Alright, so if you're at all familiar with Microsoft Office's PowerPoint, what you've got here is the ability to put text and pictures anywhere you want on these slides. Alright, so let's do some research. Click on plus, we're going to open up a new tab. Let's go to the Chronicle. And let's see, I'm going to, ooh, there's something right there. Rivercrest Mansion highlights Houston's most expensive homes. Let's go ahead and click on that. Alright, so I'm looking at this web page. Let's say that I want to copy this image. I can do this. Put the tip of the arrow anywhere in the picture, right click, it brings up a menu. I want to copy image. That's all you have to do. Left click on copy image, and then I've still got the Google Slides research presentation open. I'm going to go up here, click on it to go back into it, and I'm still currently in slide number 1. Let me go ahead and right click and then paste. And there's the picture. If it's not exactly where I want it to be, I left click anywhere in there. I can drag it around. Let's see if I'm going to put it right up in the corner. Let's make it a little bigger. I'm going to grab this lower right corner, pull to the right just a little bit. And that's as big as it can be in the slide. Let's see, I can center it if I wish. When you center it, you see those red lines, the crosshairs appear when you're exactly vertically and horizontally centered. Alright, so now I've pasted the picture in there and I've centered it. Let's say that I want to make this the second slide. If I want, I can just come over here to the left-hand side of the page, left click, hold it, drag, and drop. See where it says move one slide. Now I'm on actually the second slide. Let's go back to the first slide. First slide, second slide, third slide, fourth slide. Let's go back to the first slide. Alright, so let's go back to the article, click on the tab. What I want to do is to grab this title. Left click, hold it, and drag alongside it. I can right click anywhere in the blue, choose copy, come back over to where it says research, Google Slides, and then I'm going to right click and choose paste without formatting. What that's going to do is to put it into a text box. I can change the size of the text box. Again, I'm going to go in the lower right hand corner, left click, hold it, and I'm going to pull to the right hand side. If I wish, I can come in here and select all this, make it bigger, bolder, lots of things I can do with it. Okay, so I got a title box in there. Let's go back. And I'm going to grab all of this stuff, left click, hold it, drag, and I'll stop right there. Left click, hold it, drag it, makes it blue. I'm going to right click in there and choose copy. Come back here, right click, paste without formatting. And what it does is it makes the box over the previous box, but that's okay. Again, we can left click down in the lower right and manipulate it and change it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here, hit enter a couple times, go back, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on this, left click on it, and then right click and copy. Come back to research, I'm going to right click. Now if you do that way it gives you a clickable link so that you can always go back to where you were before by clicking on this link. See, if I click on it here, it's going to give me an option and it's going to show me what it's going to take me to if I were to click on it. But I'm not going to click on it, and I'm going to click outside the box just to deselect everything. So now I've got a title box up here. I've got a little bit of an article right here. Let's go ahead and click on the third slide. And now let's go back to the original article. Let's scroll down a little bit. I'm going to say I want this image too. So I'm going to right click, copy image, and then go back to my research tab, right click, and paste. And if I want, I can move it around a little bit, straighten it up. There we go, now it's centered. Let's get another image. Let's go ahead and click on the next slide. Go back to the article, scroll down a little bit. Let's say I want this one as well. So right click anywhere on it, left click where it says copy image, come back here to research, right click and paste. Let's center it back up. Alright, so I've got that image centered. Now let's go to, now I've got 4 slides. That's all the slides that I made, that I pre-made. So let's say I really like the background without any text boxes. So let me click on the 4th slide. I'm going to right click, choose duplicate slide, and then I'm just going to click on this 4th slide, the 5th slide now, and then I'm going to left click on the image and delete it. Let's go ahead and make a few more. I'm going to right click and duplicate slide, right click and duplicate slide, right click and duplicate slide. So I've got now I've got 4 additional empty slides. Alright, so we certainly aren't limited to one website. I can look at a whole bunch of websites. I could probably have easily 100 slides. Let's open up another tab, do something different. Let's say I'm going to do an image search for volcanoes. Click on images, and here's a cool image. Left click on it just to bring up a slightly larger view. Now, if I hover over it, you see it's giving me 1920 by 1080. That's pretty large. That's as large as the desktop screen that you're looking at. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to, again, right click on the image and choose copy image. Left click on copy. Come over to research. Currently we're on the first slide. Let's scroll down. Let's go down to the 5th slide. I'm going to right click and paste. And what it did was it actually made the image a little bit smaller, but still within the size of my slide presentation, which is a good thing. Now, if I wanted to, when I made that slide bigger, I could actually, if I grab any of the sides or edges, but in the middle, I would actually be squishing or stretching the image. But if I grab a corner, it makes the image larger or smaller without deforming the image. So grabbing any of the corners will make the image bigger or smaller without deforming it. Grabbing any of the middle of the sides, middle of the top or bottom, that will actually squish or squeeze or stretch or shrink the image and deform it. Okay, there's one volcano. Let's go back. Let's grab another one. Here's a pretty one. Let's go ahead and right click, copy image, go back to the research tab, right click, paste. I can left click in the upper right corner if I wish and make it smaller, so we could theoretically get, like, say, 4 images on here. Go back to volcanoes. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Left click on this one, right click, copy image, go back to research, right click, paste, make it a little bit smaller, drag it, drop it right over here. Actually, if I want, let's say I want to make it just as wide as this one. Left click on that and stretch it just a little bit. Go back to volcanoes. Right click, copy image, right click, paste. I can line it up. Oops. If you left click anywhere in the picture, you can move it around. And let's stretch it a little down. Alright, let's go back and get one more volcano picture. Right click on the center of the image, left click on the copy image, come back to research, right click, paste. Left click, hold it, drag up a little bit, and there we go. Okay. Now, of course, these images may be copyrighted. This is just for my own personal use, my own benefit. It's education, so I'm not going to worry about whether the images are copyrighted or not. If I wanted to actually use it in some kind of a presentation, I would want to be able to make sure that I have the ability to use these images if they perhaps are copyrighted. But for right now, this is just for my own personal use. Now let's say I wanted to perhaps potentially come back and see these similar or same images I can come back to the tab and left click up here. I'm going to then click on it to make it all turn blue, and then I'm going to right click and choose copy, come over to research again, let's put it in this next slide, right click and paste. So this is the Google search that I performed for the word volcanoes. If I ever wanted to look at this Google search again, I could just click on this right there. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and I'm going to left click on this slide over here, slide number 7, left click, hold it, and move it, drag and drop. So what I've got now is a group of research links and images. If I wanted to capture more text, I could do that. Put it in a text box. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to open up a new tab and do a Google search for volcanoes on Wikipedia. So I've got some information on volcanoes. If I want, let me go ahead and I'm going to come down here, left click, hold it, drag, come on up here, left click, and then put my mouse cursor anywhere inside it, right click, copy. Let's come over here, and on this very first slide, what I'm going to do is to click on text box. I'm going to put a text box in here. A single left click on it, then left click, hold it, drag, and make it roughly the size that I want. Then I can right click and paste without formatting. This will grab all that text that I had in there and put it in there. Now, it's much larger than the text box, so let me just do some formatting. What I'm going to do is to select it all. I'm going to use Control A for all. Come up here, here's the font size. Let's make it smaller. Just click on the dash to make it smaller. Let's bring this up here so you can see it a little bit better. So there we have all of the text that I captured inside that text box in a more readable font. Let me bring this up here. Okay, so I've created essentially a slideshow with images and with text on it. Let's go back to the first slide. Let's go ahead and we can go ahead and run the slideshow if you want, although that's not necessary. Click on View and then Present. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Control, Function key F5. Click on Present. I'm going to use the down arrow. Okay, and that's the last slide. I'm going to hit Escape to get out of it. There are many things that you could do with this now. You could share it with someone by clicking on Share, and it would send email invites essentially to share it. Let's go ahead and escape to get out of that and not do that. You can keep using it, making it larger, using a lot more images, a lot more text. Let's go over here to where it says My Drive. Here is the file that we're looking at called Research. Let's go back here and close it. I'm going to X out of it. X out of this, X out of this, X out of this, X out of this, show you how to get back to it. So now we're back into the Gmail. Again, come up here where it says Google Apps, hover over it for a second. Go ahead and click on Drive. And here is the file that you were working on. To start working on it again, double click. Opens up in another tab. And you can get back to where you left off, scroll down if you wish. You can make more slides. Lots of things that you can do, lots of information that you can keep track of just using your Google Slides presentation software that's free, included with your Gmail account. And there are a whole bunch of other things that you could do with this. You can print, you can save this as a PDF. I click on File, make copies, download it as a PowerPoint. You can print it as a PDF. You could print it on the color printer. Again, share it with someone so that they can see what you have researched. This would be something that you could use if you wanted to include family photos or places that you've been, a whole lot of information that you could share with people. And this is something that's not going to go away. As long as you're connected to the internet, it's constantly saving every few seconds. This tells you right here where my arrow is the last time that it was edited. As long as you're connected to the internet, it's going to automatically save it every few seconds as you're creating it. So this is not something that you have to keep on a flash drive and potentially lose. This is something that's always available at any point just by logging into your Gmail account. You could actually watch this and do this on your phone if you wanted to as well. If you get the Google Slides app on it, you could capture a bunch of friends and family photos, put it on there, make a slideshow presentation, save it to your phone and run it for your friend. Even potentially save it as a movie and be able to disseminate the slideshow and presentation as a movie. Alright, so there are many things that you can do. Let me go ahead and minimize this. So again, this is just another one of the tips and tricks that I teach at my adult computer education class at Octavia Fields Branch Library, part of the Harris County Public Library. Thank you for watching.